Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at the pelvis, and in particular what I class as creating space. Now for me, this is probably one of the most influential areas in the golf swing. It has a massive knock-on effect to how we can function with our arms in both the backswing and downswing. It helps us create space, it helps us create time, it also helps our sequencing so we can get the plane correct so we don't come over the top and slice those golf balls. Keep watching to learn about creating space. So we've got a very simple setup here. I've got an alignment rod in the ground. If you look at me taking my address position, I'm getting it pretty close to my trail hip. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly on your trail hip, but it's a good idea if it is, so I could move the ball if I needed to and have this as a pretty much fixed spot. What I'm looking for is in the backswing is to create space. I'm trying to create space with two elements. Now, let me go through this in a bit more detail. What tends to happen in a lot of people's golf swings is they tend to bump the hips away from target as they try and make a rotation. Now, when that happens then, they tend to shift too much pressure too early, they tend to move off the golf ball, and they tend to have a lack of rotation and a lack of depth in their hips in the backswing. Now, in order to function correctly, we need the hips to move what I call deep, so behind us. The trail leg lengthens or straightens. It doesn't necessarily straighten all the way, it depends how flexible you are. But what we're looking to do in this video is try and keep this rod against our hip at address. As I swing back, I want my trail hip, because it's rotating, to create a bigger gap. So to create space. If I do this also correctly, I create a gap between my knees. And when we watch most elite golfers, not all, they will create a gap both these areas. This helps us keep centered. It helps me stay on top of the ball to help my ball striking. It helps me move my hips into a depth position, which helps create space for the arms then to work up and in, and then also create space for me to let the arms work down and get my tilts and my bends correctly as we work. Now, all good golfers will tend to turn and create space and tilt, and they do this from various things. They left bend, tilt, and turn. So that's what they do. Now, getting the pelvis move to be correct helps this happen. Let's just have a go at hitting the shot. And I'm trying to create space. That's what I'm trying to do between my hip and that rod. So it was a nice sweet shot. All I focused on then was turning my pelvis and creating space. So what I'd recommend you do as a process would be start off with some very slow swings, put the rod in place, try and create space, video the odd one or two to see if you are creating space, but if not, just having it there as a drill and exercise and seeing what that does. As I said to you, it helps lots of things in the golf swings. If I create the space, my arms can get up and back. I then get the opportunity to get my arms down here. If I've locked out in the backswing, the tendency is I'm going to under-rotate, then come down over the top in a steep position, and therefore being more of a depth move on the way down. Letting the hips rotate and tilt correctly is going to create that freedom of space, and also it gives us this bit of momentum. From a wind-up point of view, we want to wind up in the backswing, not to 100%. We want to explode more in the downswing to create our speed and power in the right area. So it does all these things for us. But I see far too many people come into my lesson tee, my lesson studio, where they don't move their pelvis correctly. They'll brace, they'll slide, they'll sway, and that's the big thing we don't want to see them do. We want to definitely get them to work correctly. So there we have it. Moving the pelvis is pretty much critical in the golf swing to allow you to do a lot of other things correctly. It helps with power as well, which we didn't talk about in the video so far, but it will help with power also. Give it a go. Please comment down below how you find it. Please comment down below if you've enjoyed the video, and also tell me a bit about your game. If you have enjoyed the video, please click like and share the video, it really helps. Also, if you haven't followed me or subscribed, please hit my logo down the bottom corner and join me on my journey and let me help you improve your game. So thank you for joining me today at the Forest of Arden. I hope to see you back here real soon.